Yeah, when I worked on the traditional side, I did that for 4 years as the traditional financial advisor of save everything, spend nothing, put it in the stock market and all that kind of stuff, right? But I started to look at evidence, like real evidence of what the numbers actually were. Because, they tell you, hey, the market's averaged 10 or 12% a year since 2000 BC. And basically, if you save this much per month, you'll eventually be a millionaire and all that kind of stuff, right? But when you factor in like real rates of inflation, and even if they're conservative real rates of inflation, you factor that in, plus the market has only returned, real returns has been 7.5% for the last 30 years, not 10 or 12. You start to put the numbers in a calculator, you start to realize, wait a minute, you got to save, for some people, 100% of your income to even live on less than the lifestyle you have today. It's just ridiculous. And that's where I realized I couldn't be in integrity and teach that anymore. And that's why I quit in 2006. And it was at that time I started running into people that were millionaires. Some of them were investors, some of them were different business owners and whatnot, right? But they all had that thing in common, that they looked at money and investments so differently than that traditional world. And that's kind of like the world that we're in today, Fuquan. Like, it's like the masterminds we're a part of now, right? It's like they love alternative investments. They would do things with real estate or they would do notes and different things like that, And that kind of got me introduced to it, to realize that there's a whole nother world. In fact, I remember in 2006 when I started to learn that you could actually get better returns than maybe 10 or 12%, depending on what you do. Like, when I started to run the numbers, I'm like, oh my gosh, like people could actually really become financially independent. Like, because I got depressed because I was like, well, if I make inflation only 1 or 2%, then maybe somebody can retire on a semi-okay lifestyle, right? When I put in real numbers. And so I had that war going on. But when that became an option, when alternative investments can return way better, and in my opinion, in a lot of cases, safer if it's done right, way safer than the stock market, with way more control and way more cash flow, right? That's when alternative investments became a huge thing for me, because it is about cash flow. It's about the income it can create for you, not about the returns per se, right? It's about at the end of the day, what kind of income can I create doing these kind of investments? And I'll tell you, the only way that I've seen people be able to truly retire is doing things with alternative investments.